Hello students, I'm Ritu. In this video, I'll be discussing a commonly made mistake by students when they write their task 1. As we all know that in task 1, when we have to write our answers, we have to explain the data. We have tables, bar graphs, pie charts, which we have to explain, and we are given some data. While describing this data, we use the words number and amount. And we don't know the difference in which situations we can use the word number and the word amount, because there is a big difference between the word number and amount. Quite often when I check the answers, I come across the student has written the word amount, and in the same answer the student has used the word number, because students, they have in their mind that I have to use a wide range of vocab. But they forget that there is a big difference between the word amount and the number, and there are different situations in which these words can be used. So let's understand the situations in which these words can be used. First of all, we'll take the word amount. Amount we can use whenever we are explaining the situations where we have uncountable nouns. Now, what are uncountable nouns? Uncountable nouns, as the name itself is suggesting, which cannot be counted, which are indefinite, and very simple way to understand them is that we don't have their plural forms. Like, I'll give you some examples of uncountable nouns. What are uncountable nouns? Like, if I say the word milk, I cannot say milks. So amount, they are uncountables, and if I use the word milk, I can't say milks. This is wrong. If there is a word sugar, we never write sugars. This cannot be there. Similarly, petrols is not there, and the list goes on. There are so many words which are uncountables. Why? Because we don't have their plural forms. And whenever we have to explain these nouns in our sentences, we can use the word amount. Now, what is number? Number, when you are explaining, first of all you have to understand, whenever you are using the word number, the noun over there is countable. When I say countable noun, it means the noun has its plural form. Like, I'll give you example, boy, I can say boys. Girl, there is a word girls. Toy, toys can be there. So it means we have their plural forms, and again the list goes on. There are so many words which have the plural forms. They are called countable nouns, and when we are using them in our sentences, we will be using the word number with them, not amount. We can use amount only with the words which are uncountables. How are these uncountable nouns then measured? We have units to measure them. So these can be called adjectives of quantity, and these are called adjectives of number. Like, I can say I bought 1 liter of milk. My car has 2 liters of petrol. I bought 1 kg of sugar. So I'm using some units to measure them whenever I'm talking about uncountable nouns. Now we'll take the situation when we have these uncountable or countable nouns in our task 1, when we are given some data. So we'll take one example. The example is, the amount of students in the class is very less. Now in this sentence, I'm using amount, which I know now, amount can only be used with uncountable nouns. What they are, which don't have their plural forms. Since the noun used here is students, it means it has its plural form. So I cannot use amount here. It means my sentence is grammatically wrong. Then what is the correct way of making this sentence? The correct way of making this sentence is, the number of students in the class is very less. Why am I using number? Because my noun is countable. So whenever I have countable nouns, I can only use the word number. Now we'll take the example of the sentences where we have the word amount. There are some sentences where in our task 1s we can just use the word amount, where we cannot use number. So what can be those situations? in those situations, definitely the data is talking about something which is uncountable. What can be uncountable? It can be petrol, it can be oil, it can be natural gas, and there are so many task ones where we are given information about the energy consumption patterns of US, UK, Australia, and then they have given you in the form of pie chart how a particular country is using oil, or what is the percentage, what is the proportion of oil being used by that particular country, or natural gas, or whatever. So in such answers, if I want to explain, I can use the word amount. How? The amount of petrol used by US was the highest in comparison to other countries. Now here, if I write my answer, the number of petrol used by the US was the highest in comparison to other countries, my sentence will be wrong. Why? Because here the noun is uncountable. When my noun is uncountable, how can I use the word number? So here it should be amount. So don't forget the difference between uncountable and countable nouns and how we can use them, what is the correct usage, where I can use amount, where I should use number. And many times when I check answers of the students, in the same answer I come across the word used is amount and the next sentence is using the word number, because students, they have in their mind that I have to use wide range of vocab. Definitely you get marks. There is a proportion that 1/4 of your marks in your task 1 you will get for your vocab, but don't forget that your answer is also being checked for grammatical range and accuracy. So when the use of grammar is not right, it definitely will affect your bands, your score in the answer. And your grammatical range and accuracy will be badly affected. So keep this in your mind, and next time keep this difference in your mind when you write your answers, the difference between amount and numbers. That's all in this video.